Hey guys, welcome back to another makeup video. Today I'm gonna be doing a Madeline's a little mad in the background, so if you hear her, she's right there. Today I'm gonna be doing like a little fall makeup tutorial on a simple makeup look, which is this one right here. I started to do one of the eyes because I didn't want to do a long video, and I'm thinking I'm gonna make this a talk through video. But yeah, I did a poll on Instagram to see if you guys wanted to see a colorful or a fall makeup look, and it was 66% fall makeup look and 34% colorful. So I'm probably just gonna do the fall, not probably because I already started. I'm actually gonna do the fall makeup look, and it's gonna be super simple, super easy, and I'm gonna be using this Tartelette in Bloom palette. This used to be like my freaking all-time favorite palette. Like, I was obsessed with this palette, and you can see I hit pan right here on this one. But yeah, it's gonna be super simple, super easy, so I'm just gonna jump right in to the video. First off, I primed my lid, and I don't use like an eyelid primer. I just honestly use concealer, and I love this Mega concealer from Moira. It is waterproof and it's full coverage, so I do like it because it's pretty thick, and I feel like my eyeshadow grabs onto it really well. So I'm gonna zoom you guys in a bit. I hope you guys can see so much better. It's kind of dark in here, but I don't want to turn on this light up here because it's an orange light. But yeah, I'm gonna jump right in now. I'm gonna prime my lip with the Moira concealer. But yeah, while I'm doing my makeup look, I wanted to do a story time on like my son's labor and like delivery story. I don't know how I'm gonna start it off, but yeah, his was a little crazier, so I could probably talk about his is more interesting basically than the other two, which I have 3 kids if you didn't know. I do have Scarlett, which is 7, Carlos, which is 3, and Madeline, which is 1. She's the one behind me. But with my son's labor, it was just a hectic and it was everywhere. So yeah, I wanted to do a story time on that so that I can do a little talk through video. But first off, I'm gonna go in with the color Rebel, and I'm gonna go in with a more defined little brush, and I'm just gonna pack that on to the center of my lid. So yeah, my son is 3, so 3 years ago, almost 4 years ago, I was pregnant, and he was born December 28th, 2015. So it was around Christmas time, holidays, and all that. So my plan was to have him before Christmas or on Christmas, but I tried like all the self-inductions or whatever, and he just didn't come. And I was like, okay, whatever. I didn't do nothing on Christmas Day. I was like, I'm gonna just enjoy Christmas Day, let it be. So then comes to the 27th, I think it was, the 26th and the 27th, I think I drank like some hot, I boiled like the Maria Abuelita chocolate. If you're Mexican, you know what I'm talking about. And I boiled that with the water, and that was it, and you had to drink it as hard as you can. Oh, and with cinnamon sticks. So I did that because my in-laws told me to do that. So I did that, whatever, and I started getting mini contractions, which was nothing like big, you know. I was like, whatever. I drank 2 of those cups and still nothing. Hold on 1 second. I'm gonna go in with Smarty Pants, which is this color right here that I hit pan already, and I'm just gonna blend the top out. So yeah, I started getting contractions, and I was like, oh, it's not major or anything. So I'm just gonna wait it out. Comes the 27th, and my husband's family was down from Mexicali, and they were waiting for me to have the baby, and he wasn't coming. So I was like, watch, you guys are waiting for him to come, and watch, as soon as you guys get home, I'm gonna go into labor. And they're like, no, you'll probably have like another week, it's still not time. Mind you, my due date was, I think, January 4th or 3rd with him, something like that. No, my due date was, I think, January 5th or 7th. I'm lying. So at this point I was like, I think 38 weeks pregnant, and here they don't induce you till you're 39. So I was like, okay, whatever. Long story short, I go home, I clean my whole house, and we're like, you know what, we're just gonna clean, because it was after the holidays, so we had a big old mess, you know, from gifts and everything. And we cleaned the whole house, and then we took a shower, and we were watching a movie. And I was like, I'm gonna bounce on this ball. So I was bouncing on the ball. Oh, we hadn't showered yet, I'm lying, we showered after. So we got home, I finished cleaning, and I was bouncing on like that ball that induces you. And earlier that day I had 2 of those abuelita things, hot chocolate, whatever. And I was like, okay, whatever, nothing's working, I'm just gonna bounce on this ball. I'm gonna go in with Charmer, the white shade, and I'm just gonna go on my brow bone area. So I'm bouncing on the ball, and I'm watching a movie. So I'm watching a movie with Carlos, and I'm like, oh, my stomach started to get really tight, and it started to hurt. And I'm like, I think it's time, like, I'm not sure, but I think like it's time for me to go. And they say, like, when you're gonna go into labor, you start nesting, so you start cleaning and stuff. And that was literally me that day, because I cleaned, but not as much as I cleaned that day. Like, that day I was like in the zone. I put away everything, I washed everything, we swept, we mopped, we did everything. Like, it was just, we were cleaning, you know. So then long story short, I was like, you know what, I think it's time, like, let's just go to the hospital and let's see what happens. It's around 4 o'clock around this time, and I was like, let me shower and then we can go. So we showered, I called my mother-in-law, and I was like, hey, can you watch Scarlett for me, because I feel like I'm going into labor. She's all like, yeah, she's all excited. And she's like, sorry guys, I'm putting on some cartoons for Madeline. So mind you, I called her, she told me to take over Scarlett, so I took over Scarlett, and she calls her sister back, and she's her sister doesn't answer. So then she's like, her sister calls her back around 5, I want to say, and she's just like, what happened, I just got home. And she was like, well, you're gonna have to come back, I think Yesenia's going into labor. And she's like, really? Well, keep us updated and let us know, we just got home, we're gonna unpack, and if we have to go back, we'll repack. And so she was like, okay, whatever, go to the hospital and see what they tell you. So I go to the hospital, and I'm 4.5 centimeters dilated, and this was a Sunday. So keep this in mind, it's a Sunday, and it's right after the holidays. So my doctor decides that he's still on vacation, and by the time I got to the hospital, I was getting contractions like every 5 minutes, 4 or 5 minutes, and I was in pain. Not all crazy, but I was in pain, and I was 4.5 centimeters dilated. So when I get there, oh, I'm so sorry, I went in the outer crease with a leader, which is like this deep burgundy brown or something like that. So yeah, I'm at the hospital, I'm in pain, they put me in a room, they check me, I'm 4.5, and they call my doctor, and they're like, you know what, I'm so sorry, your doctor said that he's not going to deliver you today because it is Sunday, and he doesn't deliver babies today, especially because it's the holiday. And I'm like, oh no, you better tell him he better come, like, these holidays are over, like, what do you mean I'm in labor? And she's like, we're gonna give you a shot, and it's gonna help you stop the labor. So around this time when they gave me the shot, it was like maybe 6:30. And she's all like, yeah, we're gonna help slow down labor, blah 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 blah. I'm like, okay. She's all, but you are gonna stay here, so please let your family and friends know that you're gonna stay here, and we're gonna keep you overnight since you are past 4. I was 4.5, and we'll see. He said he'll be here tomorrow, and baby will be here tomorrow. I'm like, okay, whatever. That was the 27th. So then they gave me the shot around 6:37. I guess it just helps stop labor, and they had already given me that shot before with him because I was going into labor with my son at like 5 months, 5 to 6 months. I was going into labor, so they had already gave me it. So they were like, you're gonna feel weird, whatever. And yeah, sure enough, you feel like a tingling sensation. And before I finish my story, I went in with Funny Girl, this shimmer shade right here, and I'm gonna go on my lip. So I'm there, and then I'm like, fine. And they're like, do you want any pain medication yet? And I'm like, no, that's fine. So they gave me that shot, and you know, after you get so many contractions, you're tired. So we were sitting there watching TV, and I told Carlos, go get something to eat. I believe he went to go get something to eat, and then we ate. Well, he ate, I don't remember what he ate, but I remember he ate, and I had to eat something small because you're not supposed to eat anything heavy because you could poop when you have a baby. So the doctors and everybody tells you like not. I think they just gave me like Jello, and it was just something small. I don't remember exactly. And so whatever, I'm there, and then around like 1 or 2 in the morning, I'm starting to get contractions again, and I'm like, oh my god, like why am I getting so many contractions? Like this hurts, you know, like oh, it was just so bad. And I was like, I had a baby before, and I had my daughter Scarlett, and I didn't feel the pain as bad as when I had my son. And I don't know if it's like just a Mexican thing or what, but they say boys hurt more than girls. Oh, chanclas, yeah. So I had that in my head, like, okay, maybe just boys hurt more than girls. And I have a high pain tolerance, I really do. I didn't get no epidural with my first one. And so I'm there, and I start getting contractions. So I wake up Carlos, and I'm just like, my mother-in-law and people had came to visit that same day to come see how we were doing. So he was tired, you know, and I had told him like, just go to sleep, like baby will be here in the morning. But I started getting really bad contractions, and I was like, you know what, like you need to call the nurse, like I'm having really bad contractions, I feel like I'm gonna have the baby, like maybe I'm dilating. So then the nurse comes in, she's like, oh, you're at 5.5 now, 5.5 and or 6, something like that. Do you want any pain meds? Like, you know, they call the doctor again. Doctor said no, wait till the morning, I'll be there around 6 in the morning, something like that. So I'm just cleaning this off, and I'm gonna go back in with this little tiny fluffy brush just to blend out the top and not let it be so harsh. So I was like, you know what, just that's fine. So this, I think it was like 2 in the morning when I started getting them again. I had slept, and then I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go back to sleep. But I kept getting them. They weren't as strong, but I kept getting like that tightness in your stomach, and I was just like, ugh, you know, you're just so uncomfortable. And so my family, no, so then in the morning, the doctor comes in like around 6 in the morning, and he's like, how are you doing, blah 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 blah. And I was so mad. I was like, how are you stopping me from having my baby? Like I'm going into labor, and you stopped my labor. And he's like, I was on vacation, da 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 da, like, you know, big old story. And I was like, okay, whatever, I'm not even gonna make a big deal out of nothing. I'm just gonna let it be. And excuse me, I was like, I'm just gonna let it be. And he's like, how are you feeling? And I was like, I'm good. So then they checked me, and I was like at 6.5, and he's all like, oh, I'll be back around lunchtime, baby should be here around lunch. He's like, don't eat nothing, if you're hungry just eat ice, this and this and that. I'm like, okay, I already know that. So then I'm in pain, and finally I was like, you know what, can I have some pain medication? And at that time I think it was around 8 or 9 in the morning, and then they're like, yeah, you can have some in your IV. So they gave me some pain medication in my IV, and also she had put something, I don't know exactly, but they had put something in my cervix, like to help soften or dilate, or I don't know. I have 3 kids and I still don't know what none of this stuff is. So they're like, he told me, I'll be back at 12 and I'll break your water and then baby should be here. And I'm like, okay. So I'm in pain. They gave me the pain medication, and then I was fine. And the pain medication lasted for a while. I had visitors, like my husband's family was there, like, you know, and everybody was just being so supportive, and they were just waiting and calling me to see how baby was. And I was like, baby's not here. I was like, okay. So then comes 12 o'clock and no doctor shows up. So I call my nurse, and my nurse was like, oh, he said that he's gonna come. And I'm like, yeah, he said he was gonna come, and I feel like a lot of pressure down there. So then around that time when they checked me around, it was like 12 or 1, they checked me, they called him. He's like, oh, I can't go. He had a lot of appointments at the office and that he didn't remember about, and that he would come when he had time. I'm like, okay. And he said that he was going to be there shortly. So I'm over here waiting and waiting and waiting, thinking he's going to come. I'm going to use the Great Lash mascara, and then I do use the little one with like the triangle. So then he comes. No, they call him and he's like, oh, we'll be there shortly. And I think it was like 1 o'clock. And I was like, whatever. So this whole time I'm in freaking pain. I'm having contractions. My monitor's going so high, and they're like, how do you not feel that? I was like, I feel it, like my stomach tightens, but it doesn't hurt that bad, because earlier I had got the pain meds, and I still, you know, like when you get the pain meds, you just feel so drowsy and out of it. Like I would be in and out of like consciousness. But around like 2 or 3 o'clock, I was just like, my contractions were full blown. Like I think it was like, you know, like maybe 3 o'clock, and I can hear everybody talking in my room. Like, mind you, my whole room was full. Like it was just crazy. Like everybody was in my room. I can hear them talking, and they were like, how are you doing? And I was just like, don't talk to me. Like when I'm in labor, I don't talk to nobody, because I don't get that epidural or nothing like that. So I just like try to breathe. So I do the breathing technique. So I'm just like on my side, and I'm just like, you know, breathing. So I remember Carlos, well, this was his first kid, you know, and they were like, he kept telling me like, babe, you're doing so good, like you're doing so good. I can't believe like you don't want the medication and this and that. I was like, no, I don't want it. Like, and he's all like, do you want more meds? And I'm like, no, that's fine, like I don't want any more meds. And then I remember like I was out of it at this point, and all I heard him say was like, oh babe, you're doing so good, you're ready for another one. I don't know what he said, something like that. And I was so mad. I was like, can you shut up? And he's all, wait, like, you know, I had never really talked to him like that. So his family just started laughing, and they're like, don't talk to her, like, you know. And then my mother-in-law's checking on me, my mom's there. My mom got there a little bit later, because around this time, she doesn't own a flower shop, so around this time she's like really busy, and she's like, call me when you're like about to give labor. But the whole plan was that I was supposed to have the baby around oh, I didn't even tell you guys the lashes, I'm so sorry. These are J Lash Fox Mink, and these are, I believe, Sophia. Yeah, these are Sophia. Okay, so then at this point I'm like 7.5, 8 centimeters dilated, and I'm just like, oh my god, like I'm so ready to have this baby. Like, where is my damn doctor? I just want this freaking baby out. Like, just tell me what I have to do. And I'm just sitting there, and I feel like the time is going so slow, and I'm just like, oh. So finally I told Carlos, like, you know what, like just tell everybody to get out for a little bit. Like, this is too much. And I started like getting anxiety a little bit. So hold on. So I'm back, and I have my lashes on, and my makeup is done. I'll show you guys the finished look at the end. I hate sometimes the slash glue doesn't dry clear and it's supposed to. So I think I'm just gonna do a black line on top. I'm gonna try to, if you guys could see Madeline right now, you guys would be laughing. She has like 22 pieces right here. Look at her. Okay, so I think I said I was like 7.5 centimeters at the time, and I want to say it was like 3 o'clock. It was already gonna be 4 o'clock, and I was getting so impatient. So I think I want to say it was 7 centimeters, and I was taking forever to like dilate. It was just like taking for freaking ever. So then finally my doctor calls and tells the nurse to let me know that if I want the epidural, this is the last chance that I have to get the epidural, and that he recommends that I should get it because it'll help me dilate, blah 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 blah. And I was like, no, I had already told him I didn't want no epidural, that I was just gonna do all natural. No matter, stop. I was gonna do all natural. Okay, hold on. This is a no pore blem primer, smooth and pore covering top secret for perfect makeup, touch and soul. So that's it. So this is what I pray my face. So yeah, and I was like, no, I don't want it, like I'm okay, I got this, you know. And she's like, okay, she's like, we're gonna put something in your IV or something like that, and it's gonna help you start dilating faster, so the contractions are gonna hurt, this and that. And I'm like, that's fine, I just want this baby out. I was so freaking exhausted for being in labor so long. Like, mind you, it's already gonna be almost 24 hours because I got there around 5. I started getting contractions at home at 4. Around 4 o'clock I started getting contractions. I got to the hospital like around 5, and it was 4 at this time when I was like 7.5. I was like, can you just call this doctor to break my water? And as soon as he breaks my water, like, the process is gonna be so much faster. And she's like, I can't, like, I'm so sorry, like, he's busy, this and this and that. So he's over here freaking making me be all in pain and whatnot because he's busy, right? And I'm like, okay, whatever. Hold on. So I'm over here dying or whatever, and Carlos was like, just get it, like, you know, this and that. If you feel like you need to get it, then get it. But he's so prone epidural, like, he knows all the risks and stuff, but he was scared. But he's seen that I was like, I don't cry, I don't yell, I don't nothing. I just, like, I'm very quiet, and I hold on to the bars, and then, like, I'll move from side to side, and I'm just like so then the nurse was like, you know what, like, to take away the pain, she's like, get on all fours and have your husband massage your back and then sway side to side or something like that. And I'm like, okay. So I'm doing that. I did that for about an hour. No, yeah, like about an hour. And then like around 5, yeah, like around 5, my doctor walks in, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so freaking happy to see you, like, where have you been, this and that. I had my daughter with him as well, and my aunt used to actually work for him, so we had history, and so like I knew him like that. No. So yeah, we had history, and I knew him like that. So like I was like, where were you? Like, I just want to have this baby already. Like, you're holding me back. Like, you need to pop my water. And I was like, you're supposed to come at lunch. And he's just like, I'm sorry, blah blah blah. Whatever. I'm like, okay, I don't care. Just pop this water back. So I'm like so excited. And then a little bit before that, I remember I was like, I laid back on the bed and I was like, I feel like I peed. And she's all like, oh, that's good. Maybe your water bag broke on itself. And I was like, okay. So they swabbed me and it broke, but it wasn't broken all the way. So when he got there, he finished breaking it. You know, all the fluid comes out, whatever. And at that point, right after my water broke and they did all that, he's like, I'm gonna check you to see how far along you are now. I'm like, okay. So I was already 9.5 centimeters, And he's like, okay, I'm gonna put you in a different room and baby's coming. And I'm like, okay. So dang, I have a big old rash right here. So he puts me in another room, and I told him that I only wanted my mom, my mother-in-law, and my husband in there. I didn't want anybody else. And so that's what he did. We went into a different room and they prepped me, everything went well. And he's like, okay mom, you're 10 now. Like, he put his fingers in me, he opened me more, and he's like, you could push. So like, they make you push and he makes you hold it and nothing. And I was like, what the heck? And he's like, usually they tell you like, oh, I could see the baby's head or something, you know. And then he was like, okay mom, push. So I pushed, nothing. And I'm like, shoot, like, what the heck is going on? And you could see in his face, like, he looked worried, like something was wrong. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, just me thinking in my head, mind you, I'm scared of everything. That's just, mind you, I am scared of everything. So I'm like, shoot, like, what's wrong? Like, you know. And I looked at him and I was like worried, and he knew I was worried. He's like, okay, I have bad news, but it's okay. We're gonna make it work. I'm gonna help you, da 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 da. And I'm like, what's wrong? Like, what's the bad news? And he's like, oh, baby is sunny side up. And I'm like, what does that mean, you know? And he's like, babies usually come out with their, I believe, their head downwards, and his head upwards. He was still like, his head was down, but it was just, he was facing up when he should be facing down, something like that. And they're like, that's why you have so much pain. Usually when babies are sunny side up, that's why you have a lot of pain. And I was getting back pain as well. So he's like, I'm gonna help you, you're gonna push, and I'm gonna turn him, and da 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 da, and you just push when I tell you to push. I'm like, okay. So he tells me to push, he turns the baby, and no, first he took out like this suction thing, and I'm like, what the heck, like, what is that? So he has me push like a few more times, and I'm like so scared. I'm like, what the heck, like, why is he taking out like that weird thing? Oh, sorry, I didn't say, but this is my Moira foundation that I always use, Moira Complete Wear Foundation, and this is shade 300 Nude Beige. And then I'm gonna go on with the concealer. It's 1.50 in cream, also the Moira concealer. So yeah, I'm like, okay. And so he puts his hand in, I don't know what he does in there, and he's like, push. And funniest thing ever, I was like, okay. So then he's like, mom, push. I was in there for freaking ever. He took me into the room around like 5:15. Well, it felt like forever. He took me in the room around like 5:15, and I didn't have my son till like 5:36, 5:30 something. And I was pushing, like, it was just so like tiring. I had never pushed that much. With my daughter, she was like a little freaking fart, my oldest daughter, and she just came out. Like, it was just like so easy for me, you know. So I was just so tired at this point. I had already been in labor for like 24 hours, 25 hours, 24 hours I think. And I'm gonna go in with my Airspun loose face powder, and this is translucent. So yeah, mind you, I'm so tired, I'm exhausted. Like, I had already been in labor like 24 hours, and I'm just like, oh, great, if it's not one thing, it's another. So then I'm in there, and he's like, I'm gonna turn the baby, you're gonna push, blah 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 blah. I'm like, okay. So I feel him like move the baby in my stomach, and then he makes me push, I push, and then he puts like a suction on the baby's head. And he's like, like, you blink, or at least me, like, I blink out when I'm in labor, and I just don't pay attention to nobody, to nothing. Like, I'm just so tired. I'm in my zone, and I breathe, and I don't pay attention to nobody who's there. And he's like, okay mom, one more push, we see the hair, da, 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 da. And I could see Carlos, and he's like so excited because he could see the baby's hair and the baby's head coming, and they're like, one big push. So I sit up, I push, nothing, and I'm like, shoot. So then all I remember, he's like, okay mom, one more, this is it. And I'm like, okay, like if this isn't it, I had already told my mom, like, in some point when I was in there, I was so tired already. I told my mom, like, I can't do this no more. I can't, I'm so tired. Like, I can't push any longer. I'm just so tired. Like, just do a C-section. And everybody knows how terrified I am of having a C-section. So they're like, no, Yesenia, you got this. Just push one more time. My mom's like, no, you're okay. You're fine. Like, you don't need a C-section. Like, you're fine. And I was like, I'm tired. I don't want to push no more. Like, I just want a C-section. And he's like, no C-section. And I'm like, okay, like I'm gonna listen to my doctor or whatever. So then finally I push. He puts like this thing on the baby's head, like it looks like this. He puts it on his head and I just feel him wiggling, and I'm holding my push, like, and finally he turns the baby, like he turns the freaking baby all crazy, and the baby just like flies out. And he was huge to me. Like, my daughter was like 5 pounds. She was so tiny. Like, she was so tiny. She was 5 pounds, and my son was almost 8 pounds. So when he came out, I saw him and I was like, what the, why is he so huge? Like, you know, I don't know, I was still so young, so naive. My daughter came out like clean, like she didn't really have blood or nothing, not much on her. And my son came out like really mucusy, like full of blood, and like it was just so weird. So like I remember I seen him and I just like passed out. Like I literally passed out. I was just so tired. Like I think I was just exhausted. My body was exhausted, and I can hear Carlos and my mom telling me like, Yesenia, hello, Yesenia. Like nobody was even paying attention to the baby at that point, and I can hear them. Like I can hear them calling me and telling me stuff, but I just couldn't respond. Like I was just so exhausted. So now I'm going in with my Kara Beauty Goddess Bronze Goddess palette. So yeah, and I hear them and I'm just like, oh, like what do they want? And then they're like, come on mom, wake up, you're fine, baby, look at baby. And I'm just like, oh my god. Like, so they put the baby on me and I'm just like, oh, and they're like, baby's hungry, you need to feed him, and da-da-da-da. And I was just so exhausted. Like I didn't even want to hold him, I didn't want to see him. Like I know that sounds so bad, but I was just so tired. Like I think in total of labor I was in there for like 25 hours in labor, like active labor, and I was just like tired. So I grabbed him and I was looking at him. I was just like, what the hell, why is he so huge? Like where did this big ass baby come from? Because I'm not big and Carlos isn't big, and you know, but I thought he was just so cute. Like he was so cute, but he was so chubby. And I was like, okay. I was so happy. Like I grabbed my baby, I gave him some chi-chi or whatever, and they cleaned me. And it was so funny because after the baby, they take out the, you know, the placenta or whatever, and they're talking to you to distract you so that it doesn't hurt. And all I remember, and I was like, oh fuck. And it was just so funny. Like my doctor's like, don't be cussing, and I'm looking at him like, what the hell you mean don't be cussing? Let me push a baby out of your freaking little hole and see if that shit doesn't hurt, you know. And they cleaned me up, they sew me, I ripped with my son. His was like a 2nd degree. I don't know about that stuff, to be honest. And I just know that I had to get sewn, and yeah, that shit burns. It was burning me, like my freaking butthole was on fire. So yeah, I had him, they cleaned me, they did the whole freaking shabam, and they're like, congratulations. And I was just so tired. Like I don't know, I think doctor knew I was tired. Hold on. Okay, so I'm back, and I used my Bronze Goddess palette to highlight and contour. I used this shade and the Orb, and then I used her blush, the Laura Geller New York Baked Blush and Brighten Tropic Hues or something like that, to add some color to my face. So I'm done with all that. I'm gonna go in really fast back with the eyeshadow palette to finish up this look. I also put on this lipstick from Morphe. It's called Nibble, and it is like this deep burgundy color. Super fall vibe already. You can actually leave it like this, but I'm gonna add some shade to the bottom of my lash line. I'm gonna go back in with Leader, which is this corner one right here that we deepen the outer part with. I'm gonna get this little brush again. So that is pretty much the look. I'm just gonna add some bottom lash mascara, or some mascara on my bottom lashes. So this is it. Just spray my face, and I spray my face like crazy. So yeah, to the story, basically when I had him, I think they knew I was so tired that they never take the kids out of the room. Well, at least not my kid or my like friends or anybody's kids. They never take them out of the room, but they put my son in like a little crib and they took him out and they let me rest, and he stayed with his dad the whole time. And they put him in like this big room. I don't know if it's because I was tired or I had a lot of family there, but like I had a lot of family there. Like I had so many like family members there. It was crazy. So I don't know if it was that or what, but they put him in like a clear glass room, and my husband was in there with the baby, and like they were taking pictures and they were like washing him and doing all that with him as well. So that was pretty cool of them to do all that. And I stayed in my room, and my mom asked me what I want to eat, so she brought me In and Out, and I was starving. I was so freaking hungry. I hadn't ate like a full meal in like 20 something hours, so I was starving. So I ate In and Out, and I was so happy. So I was eating my food, and then the baby started crying, so they brought him to me like an hour later, and I fed him, and that was pretty much it. It was just so hectic. Like, it doesn't sound as hectic because I suck at telling stories, but like it was so crazy in there. Like everybody was just like, why is the doctor taking so long? And then when I was in labor and I was pushing, like it was just a whole different freaking mess in there. Like it was just crazy. But yeah, enough with my story time. I suck at telling stories, but I didn't want to do like a simple video. I wanted to do like a talk through video, because all my other videos are just like super fast through them or whatever. But I have my hair like this for right now. I look freaking crazy, but I have a little clip back here. So yeah, what do you guys think of this fall makeup look? So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed my little story time get ready with me fall makeup look. This was just something so fast because it is gonna start getting cold, and I believe the fall is around the corner. I see a lot of people on YouTube doing fall hauls and fall like makeup looks already, so I was getting hyped and I was like, you know what, I need to do something. And yeah, this is what I came out with. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I promise you, probably my next video after this is gonna be another cooking one or something with my kids, probably like baking or something. I was trying to get up my chile colorado video. Maybe it'll be up by the time you see this, I'm not sure, but it's from my phone. I recorded on my phone, and I don't know why it's not letting me upload it to YouTube, and I'm getting so freaking mad. So I'm probably just gonna have to re-record it, which is okay. We'll have chile colorado sometime this week or something like that for dinner, and it'll be bomb. So it's okay. There's nothing wrong with it, but it just sucks because I already have it recorded on my phone, or maybe I could find a way from my phone to Madeline. I can find a way from my phone to the computer. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and until next time guys, bye.